everyone, welcome into the State Champ Studio. I'm your host, Sydney Cariel. Well, spring is here and you know what that means. Softball is back. We are so excited to start our weekly softball show called Swing Away. Over the next 2.5 months, we'll bring you coverage from all over the state. I'm talking highlights from games, interviews with players and coaches, and of course, we'll dive into the race for Total Softball Player of the Year. This is only the start, so to start off, let's recap some of the big moments from last year and see what we have to look forward to this season. In Division I, before the state championship game even started, history was made for both teams. South Lyon and Allen Park went head-to-head, but for each team, it was their first state title game in program history. And we heard her name many times, but South Lyon's Ava Bradshaw made a statement last year, leading the Lions to the program's first ever Division I state title. Moving over to Division II, the state finals between Owasso and Marysville was an exciting one to say the least. Owasso won the school's first MHSAA state title in any sport, believe it or not.
Owasso wins the Division II MHSAA championship.
The Trojans' ace, Macy Ireland, had herself a season, no doubt about it. Owasso's record was 37-3, and she won all 37 games. Not overlooking Marysville, though, they reached the state finals for the first time in 30 years. Another exciting one in Division III, it was close between Richmond and Buchanan. Richmond took home the state title with a 2-1 win. That was the Blue Devils' second state title in school history. That was the Bucks' first appearance in the state finals, actually. And both teams have a number of returners. Lastly, Division IV. I mean, can we talk about a dynasty forming here? Unionville-Sibuang captured their second straight state title, but its seventh in program history. Their 14-1 win over Rudyard was record-breaking. USA had 20 hits, which is the most in a state final.
Hi, I'm Laura Ramos with DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine with today's Game Changers Pop Quiz. What can be used to prevent muscle cramps? A, electrolytes, B, pickle juice, C, mustard, or D, all of the above? The answer is D, all of the above. Muscle cramps are a common painful condition affecting many athletes. Studies continue to build evidence that show a lack of electrolytes is contributing to these muscle cramps, not dehydration. Electrolytes are minerals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Electrolyte drinks contain the above electrolytes and can help prevent and treat muscle cramps. Drinking 2 to 3 ounces of pickle juice when you have a muscle cramp can shorten it on average about 1.5 minutes. Pickle juice contains sodium and vinegar, which are believed to be involved in shortening the muscle cramp. Eating 1 teaspoon of mustard when you get a muscle cramp can also shorten the duration instead of stretching alone. So in summary, use electrolyte drinks or water to help prevent muscle cramps. If a muscle cramp comes on suddenly and unexpectedly, then you can utilize pickle juice or mustard to help decrease the duration of that cramp.
Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Then go where the pros go. DMC Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. For immediate care, call 313-910-9328 or visit dmc.org/gamechangers.
And now it's time for our favorite part, I would say, arguably our favorite part of the show and of the season. I'm joined now by Donnie Dreyer from Total Softball, and we're going to talk about the Total Softball Player of the Year. I mean, how excited for you to get this season going?
I'm excited, and of course, softball, that's always my favorite thing to talk about. And I want to welcome you to the show.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. I love softball. It's so fun.
Looking forward to working with you, Sydney.
Same. Well, let's waste no time and get this thing going. So our top 10 for right now, the initial top 10 players that we have on our list to start off the seson. Who do we got?
Yeah, so the key word is initial, because there's going to be a lot of changes throughout the season based on how people perform. I want to start with the pitchers.
Yeah.
And we'll start right off with Ava Bradshaw, who won Softball Player of the Year last year. And she's back for her sophomore year with South Lyon. She's going to be obviously a favorite, one, because she won it, two, because the strength of her team.
Yeah.
So, and Ava now is just killing it. She's throwing in the upper 60s, and she can't be recruited yet, but she's going to be high on the list. Another pitcher that was right at the finals, really close, was Macy Ireland from Owasso.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and Macy took her team to a state championship last year, so she is also going to be another one that's going to be a favorite. Megan Nectarline from Dakota.
Yeah.
Look out for this kid, because in the summer she absolutely killed it. And she's on a team, Dakota, that can win a state championship.
Right.
But like I said, Megan has done it in the summer at the travel level against some of the top hitters in the country. But you got to put the stats up in the high school, and that's the key.
Yes.
Is to be able to do the stats during the high school season.
And we know how competitive it is here in Michigan during a high school season. So
we've got a ton of talent in this area, and that's why we love doing the show.
Right. That's why this list is hard. So that's why we always say it's the initial list, and it's going to change throughout the season. So just be ready for it.
Yeah.
Buckle up.
Yeah. And another kid that just committed to South Carolina, Rianne Bennett from Novi.
Yeah.
A power pitcher like Ava, and she's capable of carrying her team to possibly a state championship. So those are the 4 pitchers that we have on the initial list right now.
Right, and 2 of them won state championships last year with Southline and Owasso. So
yes,
who knows?
And the other 2 are capable of winning it this year.
Right. So the race is just getting going here. And then for position players, do we have any position players on the list here?
Oh yeah, we got some great position players, not only on the list, but eventually you'll see the watch list too. That goes another 15 deep off the top 10. So yeah, let's talk about some of the position players. One is Mandy Essman from Gull Lake. You may recognize the name. Her sister Lauren plays at Michigan right now. Okay. Mandy, another one that's absolutely killed it on the national level. Another one that we've highlighted in past years, Maddie Ramey from Allen Park.
Okay.
Another powerhouse school. Maddie's going to be going to the University of Michigan, left-handed hitter, great shortstop, and she as far as a position player, she definitely can be one of the front runners. We also have Kiera Tomey. Now you may recognize the name. We've highlighted in past years what I call the Clarkston Trio.
Yeah.
We had Hannah Katie, who's killing it at Northwestern, and she's starting on a top 10 team in the country. You got Sierra Kirsten, who's now at Michigan, and she's starting for Michigan. And then you have Abby Tomey, who's one of the best players on Central Michigan's team right now.
Oh my goodness.
Kiera Tomey, another Clarkston kid, is now on the list. She's going to be following her sister's footsteps to Central Michigan. So we'll be keeping an eye on Keeks to see how she does.
Yeah.
And then another kid that we really like is Haley Bila from Langsburg, who's committed to Michigan State. Really looking forward to start tracking these kids and tracking other kids that are on the watch list as well.
Yeah, and then speaking of tracking these kids and more kids throughout the season and on the watch list, how do you become in the top 10? What do you got to do to get there? Please, tell us the secrets.
The secrets are, we have a criteria that we break down into 6 different categories that reaches 100%. And we're going to be going more in depth during the podcast on the criteria and exactly how we rate these things. One of the important criteria is the online voting. And the online voting is 20% of our criteria. You don't have to win the online voting, but it's important that we see that the school and the community that are representing these players, that they're engaged as well.
Right.
So online voting is very important.
Yeah, and you can do that by going on to statechampsnetwork.com or statechampsw.com, and that's where you can do all your voting throughout the entire season. So, like I said, that's a big criteria for this, and it's a big thing, so be sure to do that. But also, we got to touch on the watch list a little bit, because those are just the top 10 players we've got. We've got other girls that we need to keep an eye on as well.
Yeah, so the way that we'll work it, and it'll be up on the websites to be able to see, we have a top 10, and then we have what's called a watch list, will be the next 15. We'll normally talk a little bit more in depth on during the podcast as far as the watch list, but this is important to know. Ava Bradshaw won this contest as a freshman, and she did not get into the top 10 until regionals. So you can come out of nowhere and win this contest.
Yeah, we'll see those eye-popping numbers as we keep talking about. As the season goes, we'll see those, and that will get you on the list.
I do want to talk about a name that you will know that you'll probably notice absent from the list, and that is one of the best players in the country, Lily Valamont. who's at Trenton. Lily has suffered a season-ending injury. She's going to have surgery. Lily is now committed to the University of Michigan. She will not be playing her high school season. We want to wish her, a speedy recovery.
Yes, definitely.
She's doing something that's called the Tommy John surgery, so it's going to take her a while. But Lily, if you're listening, injuries are part of being an athlete, and I know you're going to handle this the same way you handle everything. You're very professional, one of the hardest workers I've ever seen, and we know we're going to be seeing you back on the field real soon. So get healthy soon.
Yeah, we wish you all the best, seriously. Well, is there anything else? I'm just ready for the season to really get kicking.
Yeah, we're gonna dig real deep with the podcast with Brian Chittister from College Bound Jock. So he'll be joining us on not only on the podcast, but Brian Chittister will be sitting in this seat a few times this year in talking softball. So no, we're gonna really go into depth on the podcast. Hopefully everybody tunes into the podcast, and we're ready. We're hopefully ready for the weather to change.
Yes, hopefully so. Hey, the sun comes out a little bit here and there, so I just can't wait for it to get warmer.
I can't either, but I'm again, welcome being here. I'm glad to kick this off, and yes, I love talking softball.
As always, Donnie, we appreciate you. And like we were touching on the podcast, Diamond Gems, you can find that anywhere you can get your podcast. So it's going to be a good one, and it'll cover all sides of the recruiting world, so you really will want to listen to it for sure. And we've got two of the top knowledge softball gurus here with us. So
yeah, we love talking recruiting, Brian and myself. So
yeah, it's
we're
going to be
looking forward to that.
Well, thanks so much, Donnie, and can't wait to just keep on swinging this season.
Let's get the kids on the field.
Yes. State Champs Swing Away is presented by Lawrence Technological University. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports. Visit ltuathletics.com and recruit yourself. State Champs Swing Away is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards. Stay tuned for the announcement of this year's 12 nominees coming soon. Who will be this year's Male and Female Athletes of the Year? Find out live Monday, June 6th, only on the State Champs Michigan Network. U.S. Navy Recruiting Michigan. Call 313-315-2560 and talk to a local officer to find out how the Navy can take you anywhere from the sea to the stars. Oakland School's technical campuses are designed for any student who wants to graduate high school with industry certifications, on-the-job experiences, business connections, and college credits. Check them out at ostconline.com.